Hello friends, this is Jackie and Kate, and we are here today to film my April 2020 reading bullet journal. Normally I do a voiceover with these videos because it takes a little bit longer for me to do, but I think today, because Kate's here helping me out, I'll just do what I've been doing the past couple of weeks. And that has been like editing out some things here and there. So if the video seems a little bit choppy, that's because I am editing out some things. So let's get started. I am going to open up to my March 2020 month at a glance, because I do need to add a book. I finished a book last night called oh geez Louise, The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. So I'm going to add it down here. And then I wanted to show you how I enter it into my spreadsheet for the month. So let's go ahead and let's go back to my spreadsheet. All right, so here are my stats. So let's go ahead and mark in my last book for March, and I will need to find that, hold on, this color marker, this like teal, and I'm going to give this a 4-star rating, so purple. And then this was a contemporary, kind of more historical fiction, but it read like a contemporary, and that is the darker purple. And Kate is using the rest of my markers. These are the Crayola Super Tips. I got these at Hobby Lobby. You can get them pretty much anywhere though, friends. So let's go ahead and let's just fill in these boxes. So now I am at 28 for the year. Let's see, and I said I was going to give this a 4-star rating. It was pretty good, friends. I liked it. I've been reading a lot of Kristen Hanna recently. And this wasn't like as good as The Nightingale, but I think I read another Kristen Hanna this month, and that was a 3-star read. No, Winter Garden. That was 4-star, I believe. So both of these were pretty good. So I'm feeling like I've been reading a lot of contemporary recently. So you can see contemporary, middle grade are probably the most that I have read this year, even though I really enjoy fantasy in general. But I have a couple different sections of fantasy. I have YA and I have adult. And then sci-fi to me is also a little bit fantasy-like. But I do separate sci-fi. And then I'm going to fill in my bookshelf. And that's all I'm going to show you today on how everything is looking stats-wise. So now we're going to go ahead and get started with the April 2020 spread. All right, friends, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My April 2020 bullet journal reading spread is going to be Harry Potter themed, and I have pulled a few images off Google Images and printed them on sticker paper, and Kate's going to help me lay them down. So the first image that I pulled is of the Hogwarts Castle. I believe this is at Universal Studios. I don't think this is a picture from the movie. And I'm going to get it started for Kate because I hand cut it out. I didn't use my Silhouette machine. All right, Kate, pull it. And we're going to lay it down here at the bottom on this side, Kate. So let's see how she does with that. I'll help guide her and then she'll, yep, good job, Kate. All right, very good. And I've covered up my TBR. I'll go over that with you all in a minute. All right. And then the other thing that I'm going to have Kate lay down is my Hello April. So she's going to pull this big sticker off. This is from a PDF file. I'm going to get started for her. And she's going to lay it up here. And it's probably going to overhang the castle a little bit. Do I like that? Cutting into the castle. I might lift the castle up. This is on my Vibrant Matte paper, friends, so it does give a little bit. Let's go ahead, Kate, and let's maybe put it underneath. There we go. Can you press all that down, please? She's going to press the stickers down for me. Beautiful. All right, so that is my Harry Potter start. And I've also pulled these little stickers out that at the end I'll have Kate take over. I thought she could put them down. These are from my shop. They are only around during Black Friday. So Kate will go ahead and put those down at the end. So I am participating in G over at the Book Roasts Owls, OWLs, and I will leave a link to her announcement video below if you're interested in participating. Essentially, G does a really great job. She does a really great job of creating a compendium of jobs from the wizarding world of Harry Potter that you can choose, and from one of these careers, you have a certain number of owls or classes that you have to take, and each class coincides with a prompt. I chose the career of an auror, which is essentially a person who kind of captures the bad wizards. Mad Eye Moody is an auror, and I think that that's a really cool job. So there are 5 owls that I have to complete. However, I'm going a little bit above and beyond, and I am trying to complete all 12 owls. So let me go over the owls and my TBR so far. It's underneath this sheet. And then I will tell you a little bit more about the classes that I have to get done. All right, friends, I did a little bit of rearranging of the castle and the Hello April sticker. I moved the castle to the next spread, which you will see, just so that it was a little bit more cohesive. So let's go ahead and get into the my April 2020 TBR. There are 12 different classes that you can take. There are 5 for my particular career, and I'm going to mark those with an asterisk. And those are, let's see if I can think of them off the top of my head. Charms.
3, 2, 1, Mom, because the apple orchard is closed.
The apple orchard is closed, you're right. Defense against the dark arts, herbology, potions, and transfiguration. So these ones with the asterisks are the ones that I have to get done. Like I said, I'm trying to do all 12 just to challenge myself. This is the first year I've ever done the owls. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first class is Ancient Runes, and that prompt is to read a book with a heart on the cover or a heart in the title. And I've chosen to read Heartstopper Volume 1. And this is going to be an electronic book for me. Okay. This I can read. This is by Alice Oseman. It's a graphic novel, and I can read this online. The next class is Astronomy, and that is a night class where you read a majority of your book when it's dark outside, and I have chosen the next in the series, in my Wings of Fire series, which is, I believe, I'm on book 9, Talons of Power, and again, this is an electronic. I'll read that on my Kindle. The next book is Arithmecy, and this one is, let me read off the prompt list. The magical qualities of the number 2, balance/opposites. Read something outside your favorite genre. My favorite genre typically is fantasy. However, as you saw from my stats, I'm reading a lot of contemporary. So I have chosen a classic, and not just a classic, a children's classic, Charlotte's Web. I have never read this book, and actually Kate and I are reading this together, aren't we, baby? Yes. And do you like it so far? She's shaking her head no. However, we read 2 more chapters today. We started it yesterday. And we're already like 50 some pages in, and she's understanding it pretty well. I do have to change some of the verbiage for her, but for the most part, she's enjoying it. I think she likes all the animals. So moving on, the next prompt is Care of Magical Creatures, and this you have to have a beak on the cover, and I have chosen the book The Rook. None of my books, save for one, have a beak on the cover. Except for The Rook. And The Rook actually doesn't have a bird. It has an octopus on the cover, but apparently an octopus has, its mouth is called a beak. So we're going to use that. So this I have physical, I'm putting a P for physical, and audio. Charlotte's Web, I only have physical. The 5th Prompt is Charms, which is to read a book with a white cover, and I'm reading The Whisper Man, and I have that in physical as well as audio. Defense Against the Dark Arts, which I believe this O should be an A. Against. Hello, let's change that. Is you need to read a book set at the sea or coast. So I'm reading Daughter of the Siren Queen, and I only have that on audio. Divination. I left this blank. I thought it would be fun for us to do this together. Divination, you are supposed to put your TBR, give every single one a number, and then use a random number generator to pick your book. So I originally was going to have to look at my series that I'm working on and pick from there. So I was going to number this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. But I thought to really follow the prompts, we would go all the way back to my 2020 TBR because they're already all numbered. And I would put in 1 through 47 into it. And if I get a book that's already on my Owls TBR, I would choose again. And if I obviously hit one of these that I already have done, I would choose again. And the third time that I might choose again is if I get one of these that I haven't done, but it's part of a series, I would do the first book in the series. So for example, The Pursuit, The Scam, The Heist, and The Job are all one series, and I believe The Heist is book 1. So if I pulled an 8 for Pursuit, I would automatically default to The Heist. So that's just a little bit of the rules before we pick. So I put in 1 through 47, and let's go ahead and Kate, do you want to tap the blue to generate a number for me?
Sure.
Tap it. Number 14 is The Great Alone, which I already have done, so go ahead and tap again, Kate. 36, City of Glass. Okay, I believe that might be the next book of the... Is that the next book? Okay, so I believe The City of Glass is not the next book in the series by Cassandra Clare, which is the Mortal Instruments. City of Ashes is book 2, and that's the one I'm on. So I will be reading City of Ashes. Oh my. We'll get to that, Kate. So let me go ahead and write down City of Ashes. Okay, that's going to be fun. That's a big one. That's one of my big ones that I definitely, going to take me a while to get through. Herbology is a book that starts with the letter M, and I chose Matilda. It was the only book in my entire collection physically that I have that starts with a letter M. Also the only book that there is a list of prompts that people have suggested, and when I looked through that, that was the only one that really caught my eye. And it's pretty short. It's a children's book. So, ooh, Kate's showing you her picture. Great job, bud. I should be able to get through that pretty quickly. Prompt number 9 is, let's see, History of Magic, and that's a book that features wizards or witches or witch hunts. And of course, I had to choose a Harry Potter. I'm currently rereading the Harry Potter series, and I'm on book number 5, Order of the Phoenix. I started that today. Today is April 1st, in case you were wondering. And if you heard me say that we started Charlotte's Web yesterday, it's true. I reread those pages this morning. So I am sticking with the challenge, friends. All right, let's go ahead to number 10, which is Muggle Studies, and this is a book from a perspective of a Muggle, which is essentially a contemporary, and I picked the first in a series by Janet Ivanovich called The Heist, and this I have as physical and audio. This I have as physical and audio. This I have as physical and electronic. I try and have multiple versions, friends, just because it helps me get through things quicker. Potions is number 11, and that is to read a book under 150 pages, and I chose Animal Farm. Animal Farm, the versions that I've seen, I believe the UK version has 112 pages, And the US version, I've seen different amounts online, but the most I believe I've seen was 127. So I'm good with that, and I have this as an audio. And then Transfiguration, the last prompt, is a book that includes shape-shifting, and I picked A Court of Thorns and Roses, which has been on my TBR for the entire year of 2020. Okay. So I really need to get that done, and it is one of the prompts I need for becoming an oar. I'm gonna go ahead really quickly and put my wrap-up header down here, and then we will move on. All right, friends, we moved on to the next two spreads. This is my Hogwarts spread. So over here I have the letter with all of the prompts on it. I just shrunk it down. And then this is the career I chose, or, so it's just a little description of it. And then over here are the 5 owls that I have to do. And then I went ahead and I found a quote, a pretty popular quote from one of the books by Albus Dumbledore that reads, "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if only one remembers to turn on the light." So Kate went ahead and put that up there. All right, so this next page is my April calendar at a glance. I already have all of the grid lines written in pencil. I'm not going to bore you with me filling this in with my black pen. I'll just do this in my own time, but I will go ahead and with you do my swatches and my days of the week up here. And I have chosen the Gryffindor colors. I am a Gryffindor primarily, which are red and gold. This is the closest in my colors. I had to gold, more like a goldenrod. And I have been just putting abbreviations very quickly. This pen that I just used does not write very well on top of the markers. So let's go ahead and use my beloved Papermate Ink Joy Gel and just really quickly. Kate left me, friends. She just went outside. All right, so there we have it, and I'll fill in the dates. And what I like to do on this spread is I like to put in at the top when I start a book, and then at the when I finish it, I'll put it at the bottom of the box, and that's what I use to I look at this when I enter things into my Goodreads, which I will also try to remember to link at the bottom as well. These final 2 pages are my YouTube spread as well as my memory planner spread. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out my 2 colors and just do the headings on these. And this is similar to what I've been doing the past couple of months, just to try and hold myself accountable on both my YouTube posting as well as completing my memory spreads. And I'm just very quickly writing this in on with my 2 markers. Nothing super fancy. I will put the dates here, and then I like to put columns of like, did I prep the video? Did I film it? And then I check it off as I go. I did much better during the month of March here. So here is the spreads from March that I did. I only missed 1 spread, and that was the first week we were in quarantine. I do need to fill this in with my subs now. But I was able to do all of the other ones. I post every Sunday and Wednesday. That's the goal. And I've been doing pretty good. This was the first week, I think, all year that I did not get 2 videos up that week, but that's okay. I also got all 8 of the spreads that I wanted to get done for March. And then I started this one here. I'm doing like a little bookish one for last September. So I am going to go through after this video is done on my own time and then write down the dates of 8 more spreads that I want to get done, and I will put them here. So I am going to hold on to these for Kate. At some point she, I'm sure, will go through and finish decorating all of my spreads, but I hope that you enjoyed this really quick bullet journal video. If you're participating in the Owls, let me know what career you have chosen and what books you're reading. I would love to know. I hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.